Over the past 4 weeks, I've challenged myself to ride this cheap 15-year-old hardtail in a bid to reset my bad riding habits caused by years of leaning on modern geometry and suspension. In this video, I'll give my account of how the month has gone and maybe convince you as to why doing a similar reset may bring a breath of fresh air to your riding. So I started out this challenge thinking that it might benefit my riding by making things a little bit harder, but never in a million years would I have thought that this month would have been one of the most satisfying, memorable and enjoyable months of riding I've had in a long while. I think this really came down to expectations versus reality. Being in a full lockdown at the moment, we're quite limited in where we can and can't ride. And to be completely honest, I really thought this month's riding would be boring and dull, as my local riding spots do leave much to be desired. However, riding this bike completely unmuted the local terrain. First of all, the sticky 16-year-old bomber forks paired with these little 26-inch wheels made all the rocks and roots come back to life. As mentioned in my previous video, I had to pay extra close attention to my line choice to avoid wiping out. Not only did this give rise to a greater sense of achievement, but it also meant that there were many more points in the ride that I could look forward to. If I could give an analogy, it was a little bit like driving a classic car. Yes, they don't drive particularly well by today's standards, and they can be a pain in the arse when they go wrong, but that all adds to a unique character and a raw sense of thrill when driving them. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, this bike had some real issues, with a completely useless range of gears that constantly skipped, a star nut that was slowly exiting the steerer tube, and wheel bearings that were all over the place. That said, these little quirks meant that I didn't have to care so much about keeping the bike in pristine condition. Although I'm slightly ashamed to say that throughout the month, I never even washed the bike. Quite frankly, I was slightly concerned that a wash might remove or dislodge something important. That said, the lack of time spent washing this bike meant that I was able to dedicate more of my time to being out riding it, even though I wasn't able to go quite as far and fast as usual. When I did finally get around to washing the bike, it took me a full hour to brush and scrape the 200 grams of frozen mud from the frame and wheels, revealing the remnants of stone spray paint beneath. The explanations for this are in the descriptions if you're intrigued to know why this is. So without sounding pretentious or cringy, I've got to say that this has really opened up my eyes to the fact that you really don't need the latest or greatest kit. So long as you're able to get out on your bike, have some fun and stay safe, nothing else really matters. So do I think that this experience has actually helped me to get rid of some of those bad riding habits? Well, as the month progressed, I did certainly notice that my handling of the bike got far better. But time will definitely tell, and once the lockdown's lifted, I can put this to the test by riding some of the more challenging trails on my other bikes. I think the real star of the show for this challenge was these £12 Impact Trail Pack tyres. They perform so well, they're going to get their own review video, which will be coming soon. So I'd really like to thank my subscribers for the amazing support that they've been giving me over the past few videos. I really appreciate it more than I can say. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now with the remainder of clips that I took throughout the month, so I hope you enjoy, and as always, ride safe.